Hey guys, welcome back to Middle Class Reactions. Thanks for joining me today. There's a lot going on, a lot to talk about. But the one that kind of shocked me the most, I don't know why it's shocking to me at this point, but Jay Jones, who is he's a Democratic nominee for the Attorney General, straight up was saying he said a lot of things, but the things that he's going viral for right now, and not in a good way, is the fact that he said that he compared his Republican opponent, to Hitler and Pol Pot. It's normal for a Democrat to do, unfortunately. But then he said he would shoot his Republican counterpart twice in the head before he would shoot Hitler and Pol Pot. And then he said he wishes that he could that his wife, talking about his Republican counterpart's wife, could watch their children die in their arms. It's like flabbergasting to me to see a Democratic nominee just straight up say that. But don't believe me? Let's take a look at the text.
Those guys die before me, referring to Republican lawmakers. I will go to their funerals to piss on their graves. Jones's messages then turned to Republican House Speaker Todd Gilbert. Jones said, quote, "Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head." Jones went on to say, spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. Meanwhile, the National Review reports that after the text messages, Jones called Coiner and said, quote, he wished Gilbert's wife could watch her own child die in her arms so that Gilbert might reconsider his political views as they pertain to gun violence. Today, Coiner told 8 News these messages are authentic and said, on August 8, 2022, I had a text conversation with Jay Jones. What he said was not just disturbing, but disqualifying for anyone who wants to seek public office. Jay Jones wished violence on the children of a colleague and joked about shooting Todd Gilbert. It's disgusting and unbecoming of any public official.
Okay, so we're about to listen to the interview that they did with this guy, but I mean, a Democrat nominee, for Attorney General, I think it was Attorney General, just saying that is wild. You would never see a Republican doing that, not because I'm saying Republicans are just such wonderful people, because I hate most Republican politicians. They're, to me, another head of the same snake. But there's at least a moral understanding of there's just certain lines that don't get crossed, and that's one of them. Even if you're mad about something, never in life, no matter where you sit politically, never in life has it ever crossed my mind to be like, you know what, I hope you get to watch your children die. That is disgusting. I've only heard something like that in person, in a conversation I personally was having with someone else, one other time, and it was a super, super lefty colleague of mine. I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to blast his name out. But the only reason I want to be clear, the only reason I don't want to blast his name out is he's dating a friend of mine. So, not my business. But, long story short, we were working a job. I was working security at a hospital, ended up having to call the cops for a certain reason. Cops arrested a person for a certain reason. Everything was done by the book. Legally, there was no fight. There was no altercation. It was a pretty smooth, normal arrest. And this person comes out and says that he wishes that the cop, his wife, and his kids would die in a house fire. That's hearing that from one person, it's like, okay, maybe this person's just actually insane. But hearing it from a Democrat nominee as well is wild. And it's nothing new. It's not like, oh, well, you can find this one-off instance of anybody. No, this is normal rhetoric. You can go on YouTube and look at, look how people were reacting to the Charlie Kirk shooting, and not about Charlie Kirk himself, but about his wife and kids. You know how many tweets and comments I saw about, like, oh, I wish his children could have watched him die. I'm glad his daughter got to watch him bleed. Just disgusting, disgusting things to say. And it's like, even if you disagree with someone politically, even if you think someone is a disgusting person, there's still certain lines that don't get crossed. And when, that's one of them. Kids and spouses, But let's go ahead and take a look at the interview.
Now, we want to get straight to Capitol Bureau reporter Tyler Englander live in studio tonight. And Tyler, what did Jones have to say?
Well, Eric, Jones told me today that he was, quote, sick to his stomach when he read what he wrote back in 2022 and called the language, quote, unacceptable and abhorrent. One of the text messages mentions three people: Todd Gilbert, the former Republican Speaker of the House; Hitler, a man who's responsible for killing 6 million Jews; and then a Cambodian dictator who's also responsible for the death of over 1 million people. You said in that scenario, quote, 2 bullets. Gilbert would get 2 bullets to the head. What were you thinking?
Tyler, thank you for having me and for giving me the opportunity to apologize. And I sincerely and from the bottom of my heart want to express my remorse and my regret for what happened and what I said. That language has no place in our discourse, and I am so remorseful for what happened. I actually reached out to Speaker Gilbert this afternoon to apologize to him and to Jennifer and to their children, because I know that they are angry and furious, and they are well within all of their bounds to feel that way, because what I said was unacceptable, and I accept responsibility for that. And I want them to know, and I want the people of Virginia to know, that I am so deeply, deeply embarrassed, and that I understand the gravity of what I said, and I am so apologetic for it from the bottom of my heart.
In this election, you're asking Virginians to vote for a man who compared his political opponents to mass murderers. Isn't that type of rhetoric disqualifying for someone who's seeking statewide office here in Virginia?
Well, the rhetoric has no place on our landscape, no place in our discourse, and again, for that, I am deeply, deeply sorry. I should have never done it. It's very embarrassing to me, and certainly I regret it.
The national...
Let's be clear, he's not sorry that he said it. He's sorry he got caught. He even just kind of slipped in there. He said, I'm embarrassed. That's not something you're embarrassed about. Saying something like that, that's not a, oh my bad, I'm embarrassed kind of thing. I said something dumb. Ha ha. No, that's not an embarrassed thing. That's a, oh, I said one of the worst things, probably the worst thing you can say about another person's family in the world. And I'm just embarrassed. Ha ha ha. No. He's a disgusting human. And the only thing he's sorry about is the fact that he got caught over this.
Reviews article, which came out today, says after those text messages were sent to Carrie Coyner, you picked up the phone and called her. You said, according to the article, I'm quoting, Gilbert's wife could watch her own child die in her arms so that Gilbert might reconsider his political views. Did you say that?
Bottom line is that the language is unacceptable. And again, I deeply, deeply, deeply wish that it hadn't happened. I have spent the entire day really regretting all of it. I certainly wish that it hadn't happened. And I'm sick to my stomach when I read those words. And certainly they're objectionable, they're abhorrent, they have no place in Virginia, no place in this country's discourse. And so, again, I am so deeply, deeply sorry.
A lot of politics is about trust. I can think of nothing more horrific than a mother having to hold her dying child. How can Virginians trust a man who said something so horrific, so callously?
Well, again, I am so deeply, deeply sorry for what I said, and I wish that it hadn't happened, and I would take it back if I could. And again, I know that Todd and Jennifer and their family are feeling all sorts of warranted feelings toward me, and that's why, again, why I reached out. And I want them to understand that I wish that I hadn't done it. I wish I hadn't said it.
And now I asked Jones if he was planning on dropping out of the race after these text messages came to light. He said his campaign would continue on.
Certainly.
So, this dude's face right here, I think, kind of summarizes all of our feelings about this. I'm not going to say he should go to jail, because he didn't do anything technically illegal. He didn't incite violence. He just said some horrendously disgusting things. But that's what the Democratic Party thinks about you. Make no mistake, that's what they think about you. That's what they're okay happening to you. And this is why a lot of us hit so hard on the stop comparing people to Hitler. Hitler, Pol Pot, Stalin, whatever. Stop comparing people to that, because once you make that comparison, oh, you're the same as Hitler. What do you do to Hitler? Like, yeah, you kill him. Like, obviously. And when you call people Hitler and fascist and racist and all the terrible things for so long, it becomes super easy to be like, oh yeah, I wish he would die. I wish those kids would die in their mother's arms so he would have to watch it. Like, just the thought, the fact that that would even come in his mind to say is wild. So don't be mistaken, guys. That's what the Democrats think about you. That's what they want to happen to you, and that's what they are okay with happening to you. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to leave it off at that. I'm just trying to get a quick video out. But don't be mistaken, guys. You know, lines have been drawn. I'm not calling for any violence. I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is lines have been drawn, and, you know, people need to decide what side of that line they're going to be on. On one side, you have people like that. So, I'll just leave it at that, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff you know you need to, and I'll catch y'all later.